we might be on course for yet more history on what has already been a sensational sprint Saturday here in Mugello. We could be getting the first ever 1:43 lap of this magnificent circuit. Surely we're going to get a 1:43. Look at this. Bagnaia, Bezzecchi, Moreira, Ralph Fernandez, all putting together potential pole laps here.
Ralph Fernandez has never had a MotoGP pole position, and of course he started the day in qualifying one. Is this a big opportunity for Fernandez to spring the ultimate surprise here in Mugello?
Come on, we've had a 368 km/h motorcycle blast through the speed traps. Let's get a 43 here this morning as well in Mugello. Pecco Bagnaia may have the honour of doing that for the very first time. He's got Fermin Aldeguer just behind him. Here we go then into the final corner. Here is Marco Bezzecchi. Look at Bezzecchi's pace through the first three splits. Here's the world championship leader then now. Through the final corner he goes. Surely this will be a 43. Bagnaia goes up to fourth for the 1:44.4, but here comes Marco Bezzecchi, the world championship leader.
Wow.
We've got one. We have got it for the very first time. What a Saturday it has been for Aprilia. What a Saturday for the factory Aprilia squad. Marco Bezzecchi delivers a showstopper, the first ever 1:43 lap of Mugello. It's a new all-time lap record. Add that on to Jorge Martin's top speed record set in FP2 this morning. Saturdays just do not get any better for Aprilia.
Yeah, with authority, the World Championship leader, that is going to take some beating because he's half a second quicker than any non-Aprilia in this session. Ralph Fernandez, the top three, has now been turned on its head. It's now Martin at the back of this Aprilia trio on the front row. Fernandez still between the factory riders, but Bagnaia, who went fourth, as you mentioned, with that lap, he can only manage a 44.4, so the first Ducati is half a second behind the fastest Aprilia.
That is an absolute belter from Bez, isn't it? What a lap. What a lap. And look at this from Fermin Aldeguer. He's doing all the hard work on his lonesome here. He did that yesterday when he got himself into P5. Not been entertaining any kind of slipstream. I'll just go out, I'll run my lines, I'll run my pace, and I'll get the job done. That's been the message from Aldeguer, and this is a real strong lap. We'll follow him now through Biondetti 1 and 2 on the Gresini Ducati. He's figured it out, hasn't he? He knows what he needs from that GP25 now, Aldeguer. Wasn't helped by the injury recovery. He's lost time in the third sector, which is understandable when you need to really muscle the bike around. Still lacking strength in that left leg is Aldeguer, but a very respectable lap time. He's going to be moving up a few spots here. Ninth as it stands right now for the Spaniard. Let's track him over the line now in top gear. Ninth to fourth. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant by Aldeguer. 44.313. Superb.
Clearly the secret to that extraordinary Bezzecchi 43.9 was that third sector, which has been able to see him increase that advantage. He's, of course, Marc Marquez are on board with, has just set the fastest first sector. You would put nothing past the 93, would you, at this stage? Surely this would be too big a bridge for him to climb over, because remember, the Aprilia's super strong through these infield second and third sectors.
He's behind Acosta, so did that brilliant first sector come as a result of the slipstream behind Acosta, towing Mark down the back, down the start-finish straight. Surely had to have played a big impact. Acosta's on the money as well here. The pair of them, 9th and 10th in this session as we move into the final throes of what's been a record-breaking Q2 here in the Italian Grand Prix. A morning for Aprilia, which is going to live long in the memory. Into Correntine we go then. Acosta versus Marquez. These two are likely to be factory Ducati teammates when we come to Mugello in 2027. Marquez is flying. He couldn't, could he? Surely he couldn't. Off his hospital bed, from the surgeon's knife to pole position here in Mugello.
Just couldn't match the Aprilia though, couldn't match Bezzecchi through that third sector. Could still get him back onto the second row here for Marc Marquez, and once again that KTM will be punching a hole for him. Gian Antonio's not launching a pole challenge either. The 93 is coming past us now on the main straight and potentially onto the second row. The great here for Marc Marquez. He does indeed take fourth.
Acosta did not improve. Acosta then is down in 10th place. Brilliant lap there by Marc Marquez. He's on his last fly now. Fabio De Gianantonio's got some work to do. 60 seconds of this record-breaking session remaining. The Gianantonio has been pushed back down to 7th place, which would be the first time he's been off the first two rows of the grid so far this season. Are there late fireworks being produced potentially by Jorge Martin on the front row for the first time so far this season? That'll be job done.
Mark sat up. Marc Marquez, I think I just saw him on the right-hand side as Martin passed us from the onboard, so he won't be improving. He has indeed backed off. He will not be on the front row of the grid, but fourth would still be a great return for the reigning world champion. It's looking set, isn't it, for this Aprilia lockout at the front row of the grid, but we don't know yet what order they'll be in.
Tight. Marc Marquez, a hundredth of a second off the front row of the grid. A Herculean effort by the 93 to get himself on that front row. Well, we said that if there was going to be one candidate to break up the Aprilia domination of that front row, it could be Fabio Di Giannantonio. Pole sitter here 4 years ago in 2022. It was a little bit out of shape, a little bit nervous on the brakes going down into Scarperia. Let's check him. He's about, what, 3/4 of the way through the third sector. Into current tyre we go.
It's a long third sector here with so many technical corners. Bezzecchi absolutely aced it on his current provisional pole lap. Martin is going to have to go even better to challenge him for pole position. What about Di Giannantonio through that third sector? He's lost nearly half a second.
And it could be Digia. I was going to say maybe potentially Digia that would be pushing Martin off the front row of the grid, but that's not going to be the case. At least Digia's going to maybe squeeze himself onto the second row, which is where he's started several Grand Prix already so far this year. Has he done so over the... No, he hasn't. He has not. So Fabio Di Giannantonio then with a season worst 7th place on the grid. What a moment. Aprilia. Soak it in. Enjoy it. What a Saturday in Mugello for the Nawali factory. Their first ever front row lockout. They're in dreamland. They can't quite believe it. Marco Bezzecchi on pole with a 1:43.92 on the fastest ever lap of Mugello. The one and only 1:43 lap we've ever had here in Mugello. The all Aprilia front row completed by Ralph Fernandez. What a job he's done this morning, having had to come through Q1. Jorge Martin on that front row, that record-breaking front row. Moments after he'd set the fastest ever top speed. Aprilia have never ever had a Saturday quite like this one, and what a place to do it as well in their home Grand Prix here in Mugello. Just weeks after they locked out their first MotoGP podium in the French Grand Prix at Le Mans. Perfect timing in the Italian Grand Prix. The Italian manufacturer locks out the front row. Simply a stunning Saturday in Mugello for Aprilia.
We thought they were playing catch-up, didn't we, after yesterday when they were 7th and 8th, Bezzecchi and Martin. Of course, as you mentioned, Fernandez wasn't even in the top 10 yesterday. Whatever they found overnight on those factory Aprilias, Ducati will be looking for some of the same for the sprint later on, because they have turned the tables on their Italian rivals big time this morning.
And the problem the opposition has got now, the Aprilia is the best starting motorcycle in MotoGP right now, so it's going to be a real tough task to try and first get ahead of the Aprilias and let alone beat them. Jorge Martin's first front row since Malaysia, Sepang, all the way back in 2024. It will have been worth the wait as far as he goes. What a session. What a session. What a performance as well by Marco Bezzecchi.